What's going on, everyone? My name is Grant, and you're watching the Dad Code Podcast. For this episode, I want to talk about basically my, life as being a dad and a web developer. So it's kind of a weird topic, but at the same time, it's like kind of interesting because you basically see, I'm sure you see a lot of people that are out there that are web developers, and some of them are young, probably either have young families or some of them don't have families at all. You probably see web developers that are, living the single adult life, and all they do is code, as well as do something else like play video games or something. I don't know. But for me, I want to talk about being a dad and coding and having this kind of lifestyle. Because basically, I'm juggling like different things. Okay. I'm doing web development as a job finally, which is, what I worked hard for. And so with doing that, being a web developer is great. It's fulfilling. You do work, for your company, and you basically, when you clock out, you go and spend time with your family. For me, being a web developer, has actually been a great adventure in getting to where I am now, like with college and learning and, gaining that experience. And basically in this lifestyle that I have of being a dad and a web developer is great. Being a dad, you basically have a purpose of why you're doing it, So for me, doing web development, I do it because I love it. I do web development, I code because coding is awesome, and I can do it. I'm really good at it. But basically, getting paid also pays off. You get that paycheck to pay for, whatever you need for your family, And so that's what's interesting is that that's not really the main reason why I went into web development. I went into web development because I had an interest in it. And then later on, I found out that I was good at it. I'm not really that bad. I still have learning to do with JavaScript and Vue.js, React, and those other frameworks. But for what I know, I'm getting there. I've got a great job in web development. I can't complain, And so, that's the great part of being a web developer. And then going back to being a dad, you basically have a family to take care of and watch over. With having this web development job, you can basically pay for almost anything, Basically, I'm paying for, bills that we were starting to get behind on, but I think we might be able to catch up. We're paying for, this house that I'm in, these bills that we usually have to pay, and because of like how well I'm getting paid since I have my degree, this is a full-time job, basically the check is such a good amount that it is going to cover some good things, And so with that in mind, that's something that everyone should consider when being a web developer. You basically do it not only because you enjoy it, but because you're good at it. And there should also be some purpose in there too for like paying for bills, paying for this and that, That's one of the things that I love about finding a career that you enjoy and are good at, I don't know who said it, but I've heard it tons of times from different people. If you find a job that you're good at and that you enjoy, it basically won't be a job. You won't work a day in your life. And that's what I love about this job in web development is waking up, coding, getting getting coding and web development work done, and then getting that grind on, It's such a fulfilling feeling when you are done for the day and you sit there and you're like, today was a good day. I worked hard. I worked for that money. I worked for that check. It's a good feeling. And basically with being a dad, it's like I am working every day and I'm basically working for my family. That's a great feeling. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is now that I have this career in web development, I more or less have some plans that I want to try and accomplish. Because before I graduated, my goals were to, graduate, get my degree in web development, which has happened after a long time. So now my experience, my lifestyle is not wake up and go to school every day. It's wake up and work every day, My other goal, when I was going to school, was to get a career in web development, where I basically just wake up, do web development, clock out, and that'd be it for the day, and, code and do all that awesome web stuff. And that's done. So now that those goals are accomplished finally, the next things to do are kind of more of like living the life and getting things set. Basically for me, one of the goals that I have in mind is to move or basically save up and get a house. Okay. Cause we're living in a townhome right now and that's okay. But we'd like to have our own house where, we can have a backyard to play in, front yard, no neighbors with connecting walls, things like that, and my other goal is to get a car, not necessarily for myself, but kind of. Basically, I want to save up for a car so that I can have something to drive in when I go drive to my work once the pandemic is over. We do have a car that I can drive, but I kind of would rather drive something more personal for me, but that's just me. Other goals I have are to basically, if we can get a basement in the house we move into in the future, which I'm hoping for, I want to get a gaming room. It doesn't have to be a huge gaming room. It can be a nice sized one. It can be half this size for all I care. But basically I want a gaming room with a really nice, expensive gaming computer so I can play some really nice games on it and probably stream too. I've been thinking about streaming as well. I can't decide. But I want to get the setup with like the cool lights everywhere, and basically when I have free time in the evening, I'll stream for like maybe 2 or 3 hours. I don't know. We'll see. But that's basically my goals as of right now. I might come up with some more future goals. I don't know if those are ideal or realistic, but they're goals that I've been thinking about. But basically, that's what I want to talk about for this podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening / watching. Make sure to find me on Anchor podcast, which basically should just be Dad Code. Look for me on Facebook, GS Web Dev, Instagram, GS Web Dev, Twitter should be GS Web Dev, and YouTube should be GS Web Dev as well. But I want to thank you guys for listening. I'm going to come out with some more podcasts. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys later.